Hi, my name is Dr. Rebecca Foster, and I'm the Director of Secondary Transition at the DC Special Education Cooperative. The purpose of this webinar is to show you how to use this tool in order to determine if you need to develop a transition plan for a student. I wanted to let you know that this format and this idea came from something that I saw at an OSSE training, and I took the concept that they demonstrated and modified it to be in a usable Excel document that each individual school can have access to. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Excel document. The title of the Excel document is Transition Planning Resources, and within it there are two different spreadsheets, Directions and Planning Sheet. The Direction sheet is the written part of what I'm talking you through right now. The second sheet is where we're going to do a lot of the data. Prior to using the Planning Sheet, you need to prepare the data that you would like to input. You can enter it by hand, but I find it much easier if you run a report from SEDS. And if you don't know how to run a report, follow these steps that are highlighted in the Direction tab. Now, let's say you've run the report. The report should look something like what I have available up on the screen right now. It tells you your school name, the person who ran the report, and then the date the report was run. And then you're going to have some columns with some information. Row 5 right here, you can see is all of the titles of each column. But what we want to highlight is going to be the number of students all the way from columns A through K. And then you're just going to copy out that data. You're going to take this data and put it into the Excel planning sheet. All right. So I'm going to go to column A3 and just paste it in there. Ta-da! That's what it should look like. What is automatically generated? So here's what you have. Columns B, C show you the projected eligibility and the IEP end date. Tells you what grade, the name of the student's ID, the disability category, age, date of birth, disability category, and case manager. That, when you paste the information in here, it will automatically generate this information that's over here in columns L through S. So as you can see, every student from this sample, you would need to create a transition plan. We know this because the age when the next IEP is due was determined from the IEP end date and the student's 14th birthday. But let's say you're working with a student. We'll take Eric Doe, for example. And we're going to make a copy of Eric. All right, so we added a second Eric Doe here. But let's say Eric was a year younger. So we're going to change his birth year from 2004 to 2005. Everything else we're keeping the same. We just changed the date of birth for this example. What that did is it changed all of the information from columns L through columns S. So based on this, you can tell his next birthday, his 14th birthday, isn't until 2019. So his IEP that is due this May, he will only be 12, and therefore you do not need to create a transition plan for him. Other useful information that this Excel sheet generates for you is a timeline. So using the IEP end date in column C, it then creates a clock, and it gives you when you are 90 days out of the IEP. It tells you when you are 60 days out from the IEP, 45, 30, and 15. This kind of just lets you know your timeline. I have found this particularly helpful to make sure that I have enough time to do the assessments and gather all the information. Also, it's been helpful when I've needed to invite an outside agency or making sure the parents have enough leadway to be able to come. So you know, I did put a protection on this sheet. I have found that sometimes people accidentally delete things and then they don't know how to rewrite the formula, and it can get kind of overwhelming. What that means, if you try to change anything in columns L through S, you'll get this error message that you see right now on the screen. It says that the seller chart you are trying to change is on a protected sheet, and you must go ahead and unprotect it. If you do want the password, please let me know. And you can write your own codes and formulas, but I have found that this is a little easier for teachers to handle so accidents don't happen and we don't suddenly lose all the data and lose all the sheets. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My email address is rfoster@specialedcoop.org, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have about how to use this document. Thanks. Bye.